Film Festival in Austin, Texas.
Let's hear it again for Todd Strauss-Schoen and this amazing cast. Come on out, guys. Come on out. All of you. We're bringing everybody out.
It's not working. Hi. Oh, here's the cast. The cast is right back there, feeling very happy. Come on out, everybody. That's Taissa. Look at those legs. That's Alia. That's Angela Trimbur, Adam DeVine, Malin Akerman, Alexander Ludwig, Tori Thompson, Nina Dobrev, Thomas Middleditch. Where's Mark? Mark Fortin. There, Mark Fortin, right here. Hi, Mark Fortin.
I think that's so much fun. Yes? You just have to help us understand how you wrote it.
Jeez, okay. So that'll be a short answer? This was a thing that Mark and Josh Miller wrote, and then congratulations to them. And we were friends. We went to college together, and they soft pitched me this idea like 7 years ago. Kids got sucked into a slasher movie, and what if the dead mom was in the movie? I thought that was a good idea. And then I didn't hear anything about it for 5-6 years, and then one day I was editing my first movie, I was finishing it, and they sent me the script. And I thought that it was just so cool, such a great idea. And my father had passed away a couple months before that. And the script touched me, honestly. It's a fun, crazy movie, and the concept is so bananas, but the mother-daughter, that really got me, that you could do that in something so gonzo. And then we spent the next 2 or 3 years together working on working on the structure and the characters and making it funny and the set pieces and all of us together. And that's how it happened.
It's such a fantastic cast. I mean, what a wonderful ensemble. You guys are just wonderful. So how did
so
that
sexy up here, right? Look at these sexy motherfuckers.
I think we want to see Angela dance, right?
Yeah, everybody. Baby!
That's what we want. That's what the kids want. Yeah!
Well, how much fun was it casting this? How did that work?
Casting this was the greatest. I knew a lot of these guys before, and it was a really young cast, and the roles are really funny, and I wanted everyone working on the movie to be 35 or younger. I wanted it to be a very young, fun group of people. And Malin. And a lot of the crew was also that way, so it sort of felt like we were sort of just like thrown into a camp, and felt like we were getting away with something. That's how it felt to me. We were all kind of trying to get away with making something this crazy and visual and emotional when no one was paying attention. And I feel like we all are friends. We kind of became like a family. Saying goodbye at the end of the shoot was like the end of camp. It was really sad.
We'd love to hear from everybody about any stories about working on the film or anything you'd like to share.
Yes.
Well, this isn't really a question so much as how much I actually enjoyed the film.
Thanks, man.
I really
Use your real voice, though. That's a fake voice, right? He's using a fake voice.
Settle down there, buddy.
All right, there it is.
So, I actually had to take a piss really bad during that fake credits start, and I ran up the aisle and knew it wasn't over and stood up there dancing, waiting for the last 3 minutes of the film to end. And I had the best piss of my life. And the whole time, I have to say, that was the most enjoyable, fun film that I've seen in a long time. And all the tropes that you guys crushed within it is fantastic, but you guys have made a film for the ages that everybody will love for a long fucking time.
Thank you.
Wizard of Oz, move
I'm glad
over.
that you urinated.
First off, just want to say, like, again, with like the crushing of the tropes, like that was, I mean, the movie did a really great job with that. But like, just to clarify, like, this was not based on a true story, correct? No one actually got sucked into a movie. Okay.
This is all a true story.
Okay.
Have you ever done mushrooms?
Maybe.
This is a documentary feature competition, yes?
Yeah.
And I did remember this is eligible for an audience prize in this category, so do remember to vote on the way out. But
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, of course, it seemed like such a fun movie to shoot. This is a question for everyone. What was like the funnest scene for y'all to shoot during this whole thing?
I loved shooting having sex with Malin. We almost did, and that was cool. That was cool for me. That's all I needed. For me, just because I'm holding the mic, I'm gonna pass this microphone. But you're right, I'll hold on to it. For me, it was the deaths, because that's such a cool thing to die and not really die, you know? And like I flew out of the car, and I remember you showed me you showed me something that you were kind of basing it on.
Final Destination.
Yeah, Final Destination.
That
And it was
trapeze
so
or the
brutal.
gymnastics when that girl gets crushed in 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, and I'm like, that doesn't seem funny at all. And you were like, it's funny. And it turns out you were right. Very, very funny and very cool. And dying on film's the way to go, if you're gonna die.
Go down the line. Everyone talk about their funniest thing, the funnest
Funniest?
thing. The funnest thing to shoot.
Funnest.
Most fun.
Mine was not having sex with Adam DeVine. But I did really enjoy his dance in his sexy underwear. Yeah. Right, ladies? Nope. Not a one. I actually, one of my favorites, I'm gonna speak in 1 second. No more beer for me. I really enjoyed the slow motion scene, and I think that everyone and on the day, I mean, we had a big explosion, and the guy came out of the window, and it was fucking rad. That was a cool one to film.
That was our last day at that camp. That scene was bananas. The stunt people didn't bring enough of the fire solution. We couldn't do it more than twice, and they didn't bring CO2, so we couldn't put the guy out. And we shot all that in like 3 takes or something, like very quickly as the sun was coming up. That was bananas. And it was a Girl Scout camp, and the second we stopped shooting the man on fire chasing the stars, a bunch of Girl Scouts showed up like 5 seconds later. We'd ruined their camp.
Can I just say one thing? Like, we've never seen this in front of a live audience. And just being on set and reading the script like this, that is so original and so out there, it's a huge risk for all of us. And literally, our incredible writer and our incredible director sucked everybody in. And it's such an honor to be here with all of them. But I just want you guys to know, I fucking love you so much for that reaction. Thank you.
This
You
is
guys
for
are
you
fucking
guys.
epic.
This is for you guys.
I'll buy you all shots later.
Everything was amazing to shoot on this. I think one of my favorite parts was the scene with the Kumbaya circle, because we could not wait to get that over with and get that song out of our heads once it was done. I thought it was great. It was super fun. Everyone had a lot of fun, I think. And it was just going around. It felt like camp again. It took me back to my childhood when I would do that at camp. So I think because it brought me back, to when I was like 5 or 6. That was my favorite part.
Should we get on to the next question, or?
Do you really want more stories?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. The booby trap scene.
Which scene?
The booby trap scene. Yeah, it was like a crazy camera that did all these like. And it was actually, we were all exhausted. It wasn't necessarily the most fun at the moment, but it turned out great.
Booby trap was cool. Booby trap, that scene where everyone's dying and the camera's flying all over the place. We had like a day and a half, maybe a day just to shoot all that. That was a motion control camera. That's like a robot camera you can program. Yeah, one guy.
Robot.
A robot back there. And but what's cool about it is you can kind of program the camera to do the thing over and over and over like an impossible thing, and then you plug these guys into it, so it kind of becomes like a very choreographed dance. They're all trying to get their timings right with the camera, so it almost feels like a sport, and everyone knows what they're trying to do, and then you feel when it doesn't quite time out right, and so really good vibe on set because everyone's really trying to sort of get one thing perfect, and that was really fun. Okay, more questions? You want to, Taissa?
Thank you.
I think Thomas is.
You're welcome.
Oh, I just liked all the stuff that Todd cut out, so I didn't really like the movie. I don't know. I think there was a lot of magic left on the cutting room floor. You got some of it, but I don't know if you got all of it, really. I don't know. If you guys liked it, that's cool, but I didn't really like the movie.
Yes, go ahead. Was he first? Okay, sorry.
I just wanted to ask. Billy Murphy seems such like a spiritual cousin to Jason Voorhees, or second or third cousin or whatever. And since this question's only relevant for the next 10 minutes, what is your favorite kill from the Friday the 13th franchise?
My mom!
They killed your mom? That's horrible.
Friday the 13th party. She does cocaine and sleeps with the professor.
Barring that, sleeping bag against a tree.
Well, I love that we're seeing this movie on Friday the 13th. I love this cast. I mean, Silicon Valley, Vampire Diaries, Couples Retreat, Arrested Development. Alia, your scene in the upcoming Broad City where you're like the doppelganger is so awesome. Anyway, my question / point is, I really loved the female relationships in this movie. How did you kind of approach that? Because I feel like that was the most kind of trope usurping kind of thing, where it was like, these girls are actually friends with each other. There is no bitchy girl or slutty girl or shy girl or whatever. It's just awesome chicks that are friends with each other and badasses with machetes that are like ready to step up. And also the cool mother-daughter relationship. So how did you figure out that's what the movie was about?
Thank you. Thanks so much for pointing that out. When, Carol Clover, who came up with the term final girl in the book Men, Women, and Chainsaws, who was a big part of the inspiration of writing this movie, she has a part in the book where she talks about how horror movies are the only movies where men actively will go and identify with a female. And there's no other genre where men will identify with a woman. And if I was a woman, that would scare the shit out of me, by the way. So when we set out to write this, and it was about final girl tropes and the idea of a final girl, we wanted to make sure that as goofy and as crazy and as emotional as it could be, we wanted to make sure that those relationships were as grounded as possible and that those people were, real.
No, that's awesome. I mean, as a chick who loves horror movies, that's totally why, because they are the leading ladies and they are badasses and awesome. So, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are.
This is just a follow-up question. So if you had no fire gel or CO2, is that stuntman okay? Like what?
He's fine. We just couldn't do it a lot of times. We couldn't do it. I wanted to do
He's
it.
from Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
He died.
All right, then, yeah.
He died. He's dead. He's dead. He died.
Hi.
Danny.
Wow, a lot of big stars here. Hi, everybody. I was just wondering, this is such a complex story structure. How do you as the actors kind of remember, oh, we're doing this scene, which is right next to this scene, and this? How did you guys kind of, I don't know, organize it within yourselves, or?
We read the script. For what? No, but Todd had all these reference videos, which are really helpful for me personally. I love them. He had all these like kind of animated videos where like, okay, so this scene, I know it sounds complicated, but this is gonna happen, and watch this, and we're like, oh yeah, that looks really cool, and then we all got on board and committed to it. But I remember on set there was the like flashback day. He was like, okay, so the camera's gonna turn around, and just like imagine all these like gooey things coming down. He's like doing all this stuff, and we're like, okay. And you gotta like trust your director in that kind of a scenario, and we did, and it turned out well. So I'm glad that we trusted you and that you're a genius.
Thank you, Nina. Did you all hear that? I am a genius.
Hey guys, so it seems like at the end, Thomas and Adam, you guys improv'd a little bit, like riffed a little bit. Did the rest of you guys do that too, and was it hard to not break? Because it seemed like it was.
There was a lot of riffing going on.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I mean, specific things. I think Alia with the straw was an improv, and when they all sit down on the
Everyone's
couch.
favorite was the, right?
That thing when she starts the flashback mall and they all sit on the couch at the same time was something that they came up with. That was improvised. There was so much stuff. Thomas.
A lot of goofing and spoofing.
A
lot of making up and goofing around and cracking wise. Everybody just trying to rib each other. I remember one guy laughed so hard I reached in and took out his gold fillings. I love me my cash.
The moth in the Adderall scene, that was just a real moth, so like that was improvised, and thank you.
Angela's entire dance. We knew we were doing that dance, but that was not prepared. There was no choreographer. Angela made that up on the spot. She drank a bunch of Red Bulls. She literally drank 5 Red Bulls. Her heart almost stopped.
No, I really, like, after the first take, like, my face was purple and, like, I had fans. Like, I really did think I was going to die. I had, like, 5 Red Bulls. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, method.
But Angela, you have a dance troupe. Don't be shy. You have a dance troupe.
I have a dance troupe, and we perform for, we do the halftime dances for women's basketball. So.
Not a lie, all real, all real.
Dance for life.
All right, hey guys, my name is Eric Pachicato, and I actually just have a question. It's kind of the pink elephant in the room. I don't know. I'm sure everybody's wondering. As a writer, producer, my question is, are there going to be sequels? Like, specifically, maybe a second and maybe a third where we find out that the movie is actually all just a movie and there were, it'd be awesome. Like a third one, Just because this was such a great cast and all this, fooling, as you said, would be freaking awesome. So, sequels, are there?
Good idea. We didn't hear that.
Hey.
Thanks. I love you too, actually. Yeah. New love for you. I had a man crush earlier, but you took it. It's you now.
As far as
not awkward. I'm sorry.
As far as sequels are concerned, we've had discussions. My co-writer Josh Miller, who unfortunately is not here today, we and Todd have discussed it at length, and I will say this: in the sequel, you would find out who Max's father is.
So you're saying there's a chance? It's gonna go well, everybody. Okay, just saying. Little South by Southwest knowledge foreknown.
My man.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
My man.
Yes.
No, if you
they're
ask
the
a question,
bespectacled man.
If you ask a question, you get to meet the whole cast. That's the fun part about this. Todd, you made a beautiful film. It's so impressive. The
Thank
DP, Ellie Smolkin,
yes,
is a genius.
Yes.
And I will never get to work with him again because of how good this film is. What'd you shoot on?
We shot on a red Epic.
Okay, great, thanks.
If you want any more of Spencer Griffin, check out collegehumor.com.
All right, go ahead.
But also a worthy question. Thank you so much, Spencer Griffin.
Hi. Okay, so first of all, awesome fucking movie. Okay, my question is actually something that's like, I guess within the movie, is that since the movie basically ends differently than the original production of the movie, is that production all the way through? Like, I'm sorry, trying to... Yes, like, is it the new canon, or is it just that specific one that it's different in, like the ending?
One more time.
What? I don't. Does it?
Is the ending of the film the new canon ending of the 1980s film within the movie?
No.
Let's not poke holes. Okay, we all enjoyed it.
There's
right?
1,000 holes. We all had a good time.
We all had a good time.
So many holes.
We just, yeah, you're good, We're good.
She's gone. Doesn't matter. We'll talk about it later.
We want to thank you. This was so much fun. You guys are great.